What's up, everybody? It's your boy Shocker the Nice Jug here with our Week 3 RGBL team builder here going against Coach Chris. Last season, Coach Chris and I faced off in the finals of RGBL, and I would have beaten Coach Chris if I didn't miss my Will-O-Wisp. I did not miss my Will-O-Wisp and didn't get a certain roll with my Icicle Crash. I would have won. 100%. I would have won the game. Oh, and it really tilts me so mad because I had the game won. I had it won. If I just burn him, I win the game. But it is what it is. But we made an impressive run back that season. We were pretty much on the verge of just not making playoffs at all, and then we were able to somehow pull out the back door and be able to go make it to the finals of that season. So hoping to get my revenge versus Chris this time around, but Chris has got a pretty decent and good team. Before we get into this team builder, leave a like if you haven't already, subscribe if you are new, join the Phil Shocker crew today because you'll be feeling with the king of the crew. And with that being said, let's break down this matchup. Chris' team's got Tapu Bulu, Mega Gallade, Zygarde 10%, Electros, Erados, Empoleon, Torrentee, Clefable, Komala, Beevil, and Arcanine. So looking at this matchup here, I really don't see any purpose of him bringing Arcanine. I don't think Arcanine really matches up all that well versus my team, especially when I have Sand. If I had Sun still, I could see him maybe wanting to potentially bring that as well. But I feel like just Arcanine doesn't match up well. The only thing Arcanine could really be good for is just Intimidate, and that's literally just it. But again, with some options of setup and everything on my side of my team, I highly doubt he could be able to afford to really do that. So I don't know. Also, if you hear me yawning a lot, you can tell by the time it's 6:17 in the morning. I've been up, so yeah, I get credit and some slack here. But I don't think Feeble comes. Feeble is just way too frail and it can't really do too much. Kamala has a tiny merit to come, but again, I don't think really Kamala does anything else. Clefable is something I can definitely see him bring still versus my team. Clefable can be a little bit annoying as a mon, but again, with me having things like Excadrill, Mega Venu, and some mons that he doesn't know can come and stuff like that, I don't know if he would really want to bring it. Torrentee is definitely something I can see him bring this time around. And the reason why I could say he can bring that thing is because Torrentee basically can just do a whole lot to our team. Like, Torrentee can just do this and that. It could run the Chardy Berry, it could run a Assault Vest, it could run Defog. Excuse me. And it can just do a lot versus us. So it's very unique in this type of ability. I can see like the flying move, knockoff, fire move, and then up in the air of U-turn or maybe nasty plot to go against our team. But again, with certain things I have in my squad, I don't know if he really can do much that anything he already has. So, looking at the main six, I see him bringing 100%. He's bringing Bulu. If he does not bring Bulu against my team, then he's gonna severely struggle because Bulu cripples my Sand Core very much. It very much does because I can't freely spam Earthquake. I have to go with high horsepower, which is 5 points less stronger. It's still strong, but it's 5 point less, and I run a risk of running a 5% miss chance. So, knowing my luck, that will happen. But nonetheless, I think having Bulu also is really good because it gives him something that doesn't lose state. Maybe Hippo, because Hippo could just sit in front of him and stall him out as well, but he does have other options for that. But it also just gives him a thing that stops me from clicking dragon moves freely against his team. And more so also just kind of like grass moves in general. Excuse me. Grass moves as well. Mega Gallade, I think 100% is coming. Mega Gallade just really smacks my team up big time. Like, I really don't have a comfort switching to Mega Gallade besides my Mega. I really don't have a switch into Mega Gallade. Zygarde 10. Zygarde 10 is very destructive versus us. I do expect more so of a choice banded Zygarde over a choice Scarf Zygarde, in my opinion, because with Scarf Zygarde, it doesn't really do him much. Like, it can maybe outspeed maybe my Sand Core, but that's about maybe it. Excuse me. About maybe it. I don't know, but I don't really see any other reason he can just not run Choice Band. Choice Band hits my team so much harder, and it definitely like I can't bring in a safe switch into 1,000 arrows unless something's extremely bulky. I think Electros has to come. If he does not bring Electros, then pretty much he just guaranteed loses to X Control because X Control just stab just destroys this team. I do think he's going to bring Ariados. I think there's a chance. The reason why I think he's going to bring Ariados is for the fact that Rapids to get rid of set up potential toxic spikes, potentially the sticky webs. More importantly, because he does know and has seen that my hazard removal game is pretty much non-existent. I only have maybe like one or two hazard removers. Like, let me actually look right now. I only have one defogger and one spinner because I actually made some transactions too, which I was going to note, but I'll make that note real quick for so later. But yeah, I only have two ways of removing hazards, and then I think he's going to bring Empoleon. I think Empoleon's really like a must-need Pokemon for him to bring this matchup. Now, you may ask yourself why Empoleon. Empoleon can't really beat things like it can't beat things like Zeraora, it can't beat things like Venusaur, and arguably can't beat your grounds or something like that. He has to bring Empoleon, otherwise he just straight up loses. He straight up loses to my Stoutland. Because you look at his matchup versus Stoutland, where is his switch into Stoutland? Non-existent. So he needs something for Stoutland, which is going to be very important. Plus, he could also just run that Choco Berry, which I do expect him to 100% bring versus us if Empoleon is going to show up. Again, if Empoleon does not show up, then excuse me, more so likely it'll probably be Torn T or Clefable, one of the two. So, yeah. Real quick, let's talk about the transactions. I decided to drop my mini Suncore of. Oh my god, sorry guys, I'm trying to get my eyes back into focus. Um, of Suncore of Torkoal plus Shiftry. Last week we could have brought it, and the more I looked at it, if I didn't have Charizard or something else I could have had with it, I feel like it makes no sense to have Torkoal. And so I already had a grass type, so I had to replace my dark type and I had to replace my fire type. But the good news is I got two bonus typings that I didn't already have on my team. I picked up Spiritomb again for my dark typing, which gave me a ghost type, which now also stops normal types from really doing instead of Scrappy. And I have one of the best Scrappy users in Stoutland as well for normal typing. And I just felt like, Spiritomb, I used it last season. It was able to come to pretty much every single game, but again, that was kind of more of a limited team format where we only had 10 instead of 11. But Spiritomb was able to try to hold its own, even though it missed a lot of its moves. But we'll give it another try. And we picked up Delphox. Now, I have not used Delphox ever since roughly my first ever draft league, or my second ever draft league in the APM, which I'm not going to talk about because that league is just dead to me now. But I have not used Delphox ever since that league, and I felt like since Delphox is still on the board, I don't have a Psychic type. I felt like having a Psychic type would have been really cool to have on my side. So we went with Delphox. So I'm really excited we picked up a Psychic and Ghost typing, so I think that pretty much lets me have every single typing that I need in the game, which is relatively good to have about typing for everything, because it doesn't make you auto-lose to everything on the format. So, yeah. Going ahead into this matchup, let's go ahead and break down the team we are bringing this week. First off, we are bringing Big Mama because Big Mama is always a big chiller. Now, I am bringing Big Mama for a few reasons. One, yes, I do know that Big Mama doesn't really match up the best against a team like coaches, like Chris's team, but I felt like Mama had to come this week. Actually, does Mama even get high horsepower? I'm gonna double check that before, because I might. Yeah, I'm just gonna make the safe play and just do that. If he doesn't bring Bulu, then he just doesn't bring Bulu. I have a 5-point less power move, so it is what it is. But we're bringing out Big Mama here. Now the reason why I'm bringing Big Mama is just to really just be a defensive wall this week. It's not here to set up sand except for maybe one of my mons. But the goal is to kind of trick Chris here into what I have here. So that's gonna be really, really important to know right there in that type of situation. But we're running Toxic, Slack Off, High Horsepower, and Fire Fang. Fire Fang is literally just to hit Bulu for super effective damage and just to chip that down. We have Toxic just to spread that around because Toxic getting down his team stops any potential sub users on his team, and it just ultimately puts in a lot of good work versus his team. We have slack off recovery. We do have the high horsepower, so that way we don't get affected by our attacks are not neutralized by the grassy surge, which is very important as well. But ultimately, I wanted Hippo here just to be an annoying wall and to just toxic stall his team, which sounds really toxic, but it's my only way to really kind of beat some of his mons on his team in a 1v1 setting. XNet, we're bringing Driller or Excadrill, and the Driller here has got a very unique, awesome. We're going with Mold Breaker. Now, yes, I do show this off immediately. That is a big problem, but what's more important here is that he has no safe switch in to Earthquake or ground moves. His only switch ins to ground type moves would be just his flying type and his levitator. His flying type does not want to catch an Iron Head to the face. His levitator doesn't want to catch high horsepower. So it is going to be on me to play the mind games of going for either Iron Head, Rocks, Iron Head, high horsepower, and stuff like that. I do have Rapid Spin on there as a more removing hazards. It also gives me a neutral speed instead of a -1 speed or anything like that to cripple my speed. And plus, with having Rapid Spin, I can remove those sticky webs and toxic spikes. Or if I just want to remove the webs themselves, I can just remove the webs themselves. So very important right there as well. So generally speaking, I think Excadrill puts in a lot of work. We do run enough speed to where we are faster than his fastest thing, which is the Torn T. So if anything is scarfed, I'm going to know we run the 100 into the bulk and then max attack out of it because I want to smack something up, man. I want to smack something up. And that's what Excadrill's job is going to do here. If we see no Bulu, I'm pretty much free to just do whatever I want. Now, the goal is to maybe lead off with Excadrill and then just see what he wants to do. So, like, if I lead Excadrill and he leads off with Bulu, there's no way in hell he's staying in against me. Like, yeah, he can maybe have the Berry, yeah, but there's no way he's staying in on me. Because once he sees I have Bold Breaker, then he's going to be like, oh, I can't just bring in my Levitator now. So then he's pressured, which is really, really good. Because then I can just do a whole lot versus his team, which is really good. And I do have Earthquake on there just in case when, if Bulu goes down and Surge is not there, I can just spam Earthquake if I want for free. I didn't know what I wanted for a fourth move. I don't know if I want to have Rock Slide on there. I didn't know if I wanted Poison Jab on there. I felt like since Iron Head hits everything I don't really want, and then Earthquake Ground Stab hits, the Empoleon, even though it's going to most likely be Shook Up Berry and stuff like that. Because I know once something either goes down, he's bringing that Empoleon in he's going to bring that Empoleon on me, and I instantly know it's going to be Shook Up Berry, so he's going to probably prepare for me to do that. So we can try to get rid of that Shook Up Berry out the gate, or just get rid of it in general. That would be super good. And again, if he doesn't even bring Empoleon, then his switches, again, are becoming extremely limited to Excadrill. But I think the star of the show is going to be our Zera Aura. Now, here's the thing. If he's not scarfed on Zydog, which again, there could be a possibility that he could bring Scarf. But in my opinion, if he brings Scarf, he's really wasting his move slot. He's really wasting a valuable item slot. Because I can't safely switch into Banded Arrows. If he doesn't bring something that has Banded Arrows, then he's basically choking the game right there. But with this Zeraora set, there is no way he beats me. Absolutely no way he beats me. Once I get one bulk up, that is going to be GG because we are adamant. We are adamant Zero this game. 72 in HP, 24 defense, max attack, and 160 speed. The 160 speed makes me faster than his second fastest thing, which is the Zydog. And again, with the bulk up, if he is for some reason scarred, I eat the hit up way more better than a Choice Bandit hit, and I knock that thing out with a close combat. Now, again, it just refers if he's got 0 bulk, of course, But generally speaking, there's not a whole lot this man can do against me, so yeah. But with that being said, Zeraora pretty much just freely click Plasma Fist this game. There's nothing stopping me besides Zydog. And once Zydog goes down, I can just pretty much do this. Even I can click Plasma Fist against Electros. And again, Electros can't really touch me. Its best moves are going to be Flamethrower, Giga Drain, maybe Knockoff. But again, it can't really touch me. It's gonna most likely probably be a mix between kind of like AV and defensive and stuff like that. It's either AV or leftovers. I could see leftovers over AV, but AV could be good in case he wants to try to 1v1 my Venusaur or something like that, or going against something like my Delphox or something. So ultimately, this Zero Aura wins the game no matter what, 100%. I just have to get one bulk up off, and then I can just start killing things. So, Zero pretty much is guaranteed the win con, so I have to be very, very careful. Drill is kind of like the backup win con, and another potential backup win con. Also, in case anyone's wondering why I'm not running enough speed to be faster than Torn T, what does Torn T do to me? Nothing. And I don't even expect him to run max speed on Torn T at all, really, either. I was expecting him to run max speed for speed investment for maybe my Coma O, but other than that, there's no other reason not to run max speed for that thing. So yeah. But up next is a backup win con. We're bringing back Coma O this week, who had a pretty good showing in his debut in week one. And what I really like about Como in this matchup is, again, I get one D-Dance off. I'm faster than everything, and that puts me in a very comfortable position because, again, it puts me in a very dominant position to move into and going for the off damage. We are going to run the Overcoat ability, which means my Sandstorm, even when it's up, it's not going to affect me. I wanted to run something maybe like Bulletproof and stuff like that, but here's the thing about Moonblast. Moonblast still goes through Bulletproof or Soundproof. Moonblast, which has a bit of a sound-based attack, but I can see why it would be ignored. But Bulletproof, which goes from Focus Blast. Why is Moonblast affected by this, Game Freak? That makes zero sense. If Focus Blast can't work, then why does Moonblast? Anyways, I'm going on a rant. Anyways, we are running Dragon Edge, Poison Jab, Dragon Claw, and Drain Punch. 96 HP, max attack, 32 defense, 36 speed, 92 speed with Jolly Nature. Once we get a +1, we are faster than every single thing on his team, guaranteed, except for any potential choice Scarfers. But again, I think no matter what, the only thing we're going to have to really worry about is Scarf Zydog. But here's the thing about Scarf Zydog, it cannot just freely lock itself into Outrage, because here's the thing with Outrage. If he locks himself in the Outrage, I bring a Silvally Fairy, if I'm bringing my Primarina, which Primarina does have a relatively decent matchup versus him as well, he is screwed. So he can't just really lock into that. And now, I could see him running a Dragon Dance Zygarde with maybe like Focus Sash or potentially a Berry. Because he could be Rosella Berry, expecting me to be faster than his one thing, and then he just goes and clicks the Roselli Berry, knowing he lives any one hit from me, D-dances in front of me, and then kills me. So he could run the Roselli Berry, so that is something that we kind of keep in mind with that, in the very slightest right there. But ultimately, I think Como O works really well for this team. I think Como O is really going to be another backup potential win con right here. I'm looking for now our Sand Abuser, and potentially a little bit of a breaker this week. We're running with Stoutland this week with 156 in HP, max attack, Adamant, 76 defense, 24 speed up. I really didn't need speed. This thing pretty much outspeeds everything in this team without Sand, believe it or not. That's actually pretty impressive. And Stoutland's been kind of one of our big dogs, pun intended, for us this season. And I think, again, if you really look at his team, what stops me from spamming normal type attacks? What stops me from doing that? So, yeah, I do have work up here as a setup option for the superpower. Superpower will not minus my one attack and my one defense. But again, if I can weaken that thing, I can weaken Napoleon down to where superpower does enough to where a normal type of move attack hits, it basically drops it, and that's where it's so good. Like, we are still Scarf. I did not decide to go Choice Band because I felt like Choice Bandit was really not the way I needed to go this week, especially when I have unlimited sand used in this matchup. So definitely felt like it was a better option to definitely go the Silk Scarf route because, again, look at the team, look at Salad. You can't name a switch into him besides Empoleon. And if he doesn't bring Empoleon, then this just wins, man. This can just win essentially, which is really, really good. So I really think Salad is going to do a lot. We are running kind of like a semi-bulky offensive Salad this week, just because Salad can take some couple of hits here and there and just be able to do so much work. And I think that's just going to be really amazing for Stalin. And making his return after his week one dominant performance is Groot here with Sludge Bomb, Substitute, Giga Drain, and Sleep Powder now. I am not running a super effective coverage move for the Empoleon. Now, you may ask, that's risky, but if you're really looking at Empoleon versus me, Empoleon can't do much. Now, it would probably be best to have Earthquake / Earth Power to hit the Ariados. I do agree on that. But Ariados is kind of a frail paper bag mon, and again, kind of can't break Venu. And then you look at some of my other things, it can't break, so not all too concerned about that. So I felt like just going dual stab this week, which pretty much hits everything for his team for super effective to neutral damage. And I felt like let's run the substitute set again. Substitute was really good because it offered the idea to just start clicking attacks. I think what also is really good about having the substitute set as well is that even though if Gallade comes in on me, I get either a chance to go for a free Sludge Bomb, a free Giga Drain, or a free Sleep Powder on him. But the problem is the main thing that's going to be happening there is that it does force the Gallade to go on attack. It can't go for knockoff. It can't go for Sword Dance. It can't go for bulk up as it comes in on me. It has to go for the attack. Because if I go for Sleep Powder for free or go for two attacks for free, it basically kills the Gallade 100%. So he has to be forced into that spot of actually going for the attack against me. Which means, again, I can either go for a free Sleep Powder or I go for the 3 attack. Probably most likely I'm going to lean towards the 3 attack, but Sleep Powder is on there just because I want to put something to sleep, and if I can just put something to sleep, it basically will stop anything from going to do too much against my team. So I felt like that was a really good option to bring. We are running max HP, 148 defense, 100 special attack, 8 depth. We are running physically defensive because physically defensive is better against this team. Again, this thing can just wall out Eel. This thing takes any physical coverage. It can take at least one hit from the Gallade 100% of the time. It also takes the hits from the Zygarde, which again, if Zygarde is choice banded, this is probably like my only realistic switch that I have to Zygarde because it's gonna be Jolly 100%. Because it can't, I feel like it can't run Adamant against my team, especially since it just picked up Delphox. I mean, yeah, he could prep for me not bringing Delphox, but again, if he doesn't bring Jolly, he doesn't outspeed Delphox. I mean, he probably could, but he's running pretty much near max speed. So I felt like it was another thing that he had to be on the worry about there. But ultimately, I think Venusaur is going to be really good for this game, and I really want to put Savali on this team, but the only reason I didn't have Savali on this team was just this, I could not figure out what I want Savali to do. I mean, Savali could replace Big Mama, but looking at sand options and looking how good Stoutland did, I feel like Stoutland was the way to go. Otherwise, I would have just ran a double Scarfer with Stoutland than to have to go for that route, and I didn't feel like that was the way to go. Or if I had to run maybe like a Chople Berry to be able to take the hits from um, Mega Gallade, but I felt like, again, with not getting the proper bulk and anything like that, I just felt like Gallade, if it got a free SD and lived a hit, my Chople Berry would just be pointless, so. I feel like going Big Mom. Plus, having Big Mom just to spread Toxic and also just to give that sand support for Muskie was just really good. And also relatively decent sand support for Como. I thought it was more worth it. But yeah, that's going to be the Week 3 Team Builder, guys. Hopefully, we can continue our good streak and go 3-0 right now. And just keep up the good momentum. We are the one of 3 teams. Both of us, me and Chris, are the 2 out of the 3 teams that are 2-0. So one of us is going to walk away with a 3-0 record. One of us is going to walk away with 2-1 record and either be the second of 2 teams to go 3-0 or the only team to go 3-0. Just depends on how games are going to go. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Join the Fish Shocker crew. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Fish Shocker, nice hedgehog. Peace.